Welcome to this guide on academic essay structure, presented by Regent University's Academic Coaching. Before we get started, we wanted to give the following disclaimer. Your professor has the final say on all style manual requirements for the class. The policy of academic coaching is to refer students to their professor, their course syllabus, and their style manual. Structure can make or break a paper. A good, clear structure orders the flow of your points logically as they build off of one another. Poor structuring can cause your audience to feel lost as they read your paper and weaken your position. Learning how to properly organize your points with strong topic sentences and conclusion sentences will greatly enhance your paper's clarity. Every paper has 3 major sections, including the introduction, the body of the paper, and the conclusion. Each section has a different structure and a different purpose. This video analyzes the structure and purpose of each section in order. An introductory paragraph, or introduction, has 3 main objectives: engage, establish context, and provide a thesis statement. First, engage the reader with an interesting quote, illustration, or statistic. This portion is also known as the hook. The hook is an interesting sentence that grabs the audience's attention. It could also be a declaration of a problem or an interesting statement to help the reader feel invested. Establishing the context takes up the majority of the introductory paragraph. This is where the writer provides the background of the primary issues of the paper and provides necessary definitions or the paper's key terms. The thesis statement is the last sentence or the last couple sentences in the introductory paragraph or section. The thesis statement is the most important statement in the entire paper as it articulates the main claim and the organizing principle for the essay. The writer will use these items in the organizing principle to expand or support that claim. As such, every thesis statement has 2 main sections, the claim and the organizing principle. Here's an example of a thesis statement. Consumers prefer waffles to pancakes because of their density, texture, and flavor. The main concept this paper would aim to discuss would be the fact that consumers prefer waffles to pancakes, the claim. The organizing principle, density, texture, and flavor, sets up the structure for the coming body of the paper. The first paragraph would be all about density, the second texture, and the last one flavor. This way, every point discussed in the paper relates back to the thesis statement in one way or another. For more information about thesis statements, check out the resource links in the description or check out our video on thesis statements. Take note that this diagram is a triangle with the point narrowing at the thesis statement. This narrowing represents the focus of the introduction. At the hook, you will have a broad focus, discussing a large issue or topic to get your reader's attention. Next, you will begin narrowing down your topic of interest as you provide background details until you reach the precise focus of your paper when you write your thesis statement. Each body paragraph begins with a topic sentence, clearly answering or addressing one section of the organizing principle relating to the main claim. This topic sentence introduces the main idea of the paragraph. This idea should use keywords from the thesis statement and its organizing principle. The middle of a body paragraph will provide support to the main idea expressed in the topic sentence. This can be best accomplished by providing an assertion of an idea, evidence to back up that assertion, and commentary to discuss that evidence. In a single paragraph, you may have 1 to 3 assertion, evidence, commentary cycles to support the main idea of the paragraph. Each body paragraph should end with a concluding sentence. Concluding sentences may summarize the topic of the paragraph and transition the audience's focus to the topic of the next paragraph. To learn more about body paragraphs, check out our resource on paragraph structure linked in the description. When trying to map out the order of your paragraphs, there are 2 common organizational methods: chronologically or by importance. To order chronologically, discuss your main points in the order in which they occurred or will occur. For instance, this style may be used to describe a historical event, trace literary themes in a story, demonstrate the methodology of a study, or explain a series of steps or events. When writing your paper in order of importance, you will discuss your main points in a way that builds the paper's strength and momentum. If you have 3 points that could be discussed in any order, you should order them from least to most important and convincing. In persuasive essays, ending with your strongest point ensures that your argument ends on the best possible note. Finally, remember that the order of your main points in your paper should match the order in your thesis statement. If you reorganize your paragraphs, make sure that you revise your thesis statement accordingly. The conclusion, similar to the introduction, has 3 parts: the restatement of the thesis statement, the summary, and the call to action. Since the conclusion's goal is to briefly review the paper's argument, write the restated thesis statement as the first sentence of the conclusion. Make sure to restate the points of the thesis without rewriting it verbatim. The goal is to remind the reader of your argument and prepare them for your summary. The summary makes up the majority of the conclusion. In this section, you should spend a few sentences summarizing the main points you discussed in the paper. These main points should be reflective and contain key words from the organizing principle of your thesis statement. The call to action will be the final sentence or sentences of your conclusion and should wrap up your paper in a satisfying manner. The call to action may recommend action from your audience or some other group, suggest future research to understand the issue at hand, inspire your audience to think differently, or show how this topic relates to life overall. This may include a biblical integration. Looking at our diagram here, we can see that conclusions have the opposite structure of the introduction. While the introduction began broad and narrowed down to the thesis statement, the conclusion begins narrow by restating the thesis statement and then broadens out its scope in the summary, all the way to the call to action. Academic coaching is here to support you. We offer group coaching, live workshops, one-on-one appointments, and more. Visit us at regent.edu/writing. Thank you for watching and making the most out of your Regent experience.